You're watching TAG TV.
Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Thursday, the 19th of July. Search operations launched after militant attack in India's Jammu and Kashmir. Time to expose Pakistan's corrupt dictatorship, says US congressman. And Afghan President Ashraf Ghani defends his peace strategy. And now for all the details. Search operations were launched in Supor town of India's Jammu and Kashmir province on Thursday after militants attacked a police party in the area. No casualties were, however, reported in the attack, which came within a week after a policeman was killed in a similar incident in Pulwama district.
Security forces carried out a search operation in Baramulla district of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province on Thursday after militants attacked a police party in the area. Terrorists opened fire on the police party at Sopore bypass in the district. No casualties were reported in the attack till the last reports came in. This is the second terrorist attack within a month on the security personnel in the province.
उसी दौरान पार्टी लगी हुई थी तो तीन बंदे मोटरसाइकिल पे आए और वो पार्टी भी फायर करके चले गए। कोई हमारे किसी भी जवान का कोई नुकसान नहीं है। कॉर्डन कर रखा है हमने, अभी घेरा डाल रखा है, देखते हैं जल्दी पकड़े जाएंगे, कहीं नहीं जाएंगे।
On June 18th, a group of terrorists hurled a grenade at a police post in Sopore. In retaliation, the armed forces also initiated a firing on the terrorists and later launched a search operation. India accuses Pakistan of training and arming militants and helping them infiltrate across the border to spread unrest in Kashmir Valley. Pakistan denies the allegations.
Death toll rose to at least 9 on Thursday in a building collapse in Greater Noida near Indian capital New Delhi. The 6-story building collapsed into an adjacent construction site on Tuesday night, after which rescue teams, hydraulic cranes and bulldozers were immediately pressed into service to rescue the trapped people.
At least 9 bodies were recovered by rescue workers from a building collapse site in Greater Noida area near Indian capital New Delhi, officials said on Thursday. The 6-story building collapsed into an adjacent construction site on Tuesday night, after which rescue workers were moving through the debris in a search for survivors. Police have arrested 4 persons, including the builder of the apartment block and 2 of his associates, for the negligence.
See, we have already recovered 9 bodies, and there is some family members who are claiming that they have one member of theirs who is there inside this rubble.
Building collapses in India are common during the monsoon season, when heavy rains weaken the foundations of badly constructed buildings. Greater Noida is one of a cluster of areas that have sprung up around the Indian capital over the last decade, home to scores of residential and commercial blocks.
Moving on, Dana Baker, an influential US lawmaker, recently said that it is time to expose Pakistan's corrupt dictatorship. While addressing an event to mark Muhajir Day in the US, he also voiced his support to the Muhajir community, which alleges discrimination by the Pakistani establishment.
US Congressman Dana Baker recently expressed his ire over Pakistan's Inter-Services Intelligence or ISI's blatant atrocities, the crimes that Pakistan is committing and the corruption that feeds the system. Speaking during an event to mark Muhajir Day in Washington, D.C. recently, he said it was time for the international community to step in against Pakistan. While expressing his solidarity with the members of the Muttahida Qawmi Movement or MQM, he said the US needs to make sure never to send Pakistan another weapon that they can use against their own people.
We have to make sure that the public is aware that the government in Islamabad and the ISI in particular are not the allies of free and decent people, but instead they are oppressing the people. And once that message gets through, of the nature of what's going on, I think that the good people of the world will do what's right and stand together with those who are oppressed.
Muhajirs are Muslim immigrants whose descendants migrated from various regions of India after the partition of India in 1947 to settle in Pakistan. Muhajirs have long blamed Pakistani establishment for sponsoring terrorism and inflicting gross human rights violations against the community in the country. Altaf Hussain, the founder of MQM, the mainstream political party of Muhajirs, has announced to boycott the July 25th general elections in Pakistan.
In news from Afghanistan, Afghanistan's President Ashraf Ghani has defended his peace strategy, saying that his country has achieved a regional and national consensus on peace. He said earlier Afghans waited for others to do something about attaining stability in their country, but now they're using their own initiatives to achieve peace.
Afghan President Ashraf Ghani on Wednesday said Afghanistan has achieved national and regional consensus on the issue of peace in the country. According to Ghani, in the past, Afghans waited for others to do something about attaining stability in their country, but now they are using their own initiative to achieve peace. Ghani made the remarks during a meeting in the presidential palace.
خو موږ نن د سولې لپاره خپله تګلاره، خپله اراده، خپل پلان او خپل ملي ابتکار لرو.
Meanwhile, Afghanistan's former president Hamid Karzai called on the US government to review its policy on Afghanistan.
We have not gained at all.
ما از حضور پایگاه‌های امریکا در افغانستان و یا امضای پیمان امنیتی دو جانبه هیچ چیز به دست نیاورده‌ایم. و از همین رو از ایالات متحده می‌خواهیم که سیاستش را در برابر افغانستان بازنگری کند و اطمینان دهد که حضور نیروهای امریکایی در افغانستان به سود افغانستان است و به افغانستان صلح می‌آورد.
This comes a few days after a media report stated that US President Donald Trump's administration has told its top diplomats to seek direct talks with the Taliban. However, the Afghan government has not yet reacted officially to the reports.
More news from Afghanistan. Afghan CEO Abdullah's office has assured that commando forces or any other security institutions cannot be exploited in Afghanistan. This comes after supporters of an influential police chief who is currently in custody accused the government of exploiting the commando forces.
The Office of Afghan Chief Executive Officer Abdullah on Wednesday said no one may exploit the commando forces or any other security forces for their own personal or political motives in Afghanistan. However, the CEO's deputy spokesman did not say what group or person they were referring to, but noted that the political exploiting of the forces is not in the nation's interests. This comes after supporters of Nizamuddin Kesari, the district police chief for Kesar, who is currently in custody, accused the government of exploiting the commando forces recently.
هر گونه استفاده از نیروهای امنیتی و دفاعی در راستای منافع شخصی و سیاسی طبعا میتونه یک عاقبت بسیار خطرناک داشته باشه و از سوی دیگری در تضاد با قوانین نافذه کشور قرار داره.
There is an Afghan National Army Commando Corps in Afghanistan, which is an elite special operations commando unit that has been playing a crucial role in suppressing insurgents on the battlefields. They have been hailed for saving strategic regions in Afghanistan that were on the verge of collapsing to the Taliban.
A doctor in India's Gujarat province on Wednesday renounced worldly pleasures and became a Jain monk. Jainism is an ancient religion whose central tenets are non-violence and love to all beings. Jain monks vow to give up material possessions and any emotional bonds that affect their karmic account.
A 30-year-old doctor in India's western Surat city donned the whites of a Jain monk on Wednesday and shaved her head as she renounced her family and set the path towards salvation. The ceremony was attended by hundreds of people, including the family members of the doctor-turned-monk, Hina Kumari. Kumari embraced monkhood during the ceremony and perform rituals including removing her jewelry, symbolic to renouncing worldly pleasures.
पापा की इच्छा होने की वजह से 5.5 years MBBS किया, उसके बाद 3 years चैरिटी क्लिनिक किया एंड उसके बाद आज मेरा डैडी कन्विंस्ड है कि अब इस चीज़ को नहीं रोक सकते, इसको जाना है और यही मार्ग सच्चा है और इस वजह से परिवार पूरी खुशी से दीक्षा देने के लिए तत्पर है।
दुख तो होता है जा रही है, मगर वही बात है, जिन शासन का नाम हो रहा है, धर्म का नाम हो रहा है और मैंने उसकी इच्छा ही उसमें थी तो हम सब खुशी खुशी मंजूर की है।
Kumari was attracted to the life of a monk since childhood. However, after spending 47 days under the guidance of a spiritual leader and leading the life of a monk made her realize her true calling. Jainism is an ancient religion whose central tenets are non-violence and love to all beings. Jain monks vow to give up material possessions and any emotional bonds that cause karma.
A teenager in India's western Mumbai city has launched the country's first app-based courier service that will use the services of the Dabbawalas, the city's famous lunchbox delivery men. The startup aims to capture 20% of the intra-city logistics market and a turnover of $14 million by 2020.
An Indian teenager on Wednesday launched the country's first app-based courier service that will use the services of Western Mumbai city's famous lunchbox delivery men, the Dabbawalas. 13-year-old Tilak Mehta came up with a unique idea when he had forgotten his book at a relative's place and was looking out for options of same-day delivery within the city. The startup Papers and Parcels aims to capture 20% of the intra-city logistic market and a turnover of $14 million by 2020.
पेपर्स एंड पार्सल जो है बेसिकली जो डिजिटलाइजेशन ऑफ कुरियर है, आप जो आपका पार्सल जो उधर जाके देते हैं वो आप आज से आपके ऐप से बुक कर सकते हैं। आदमी आपके घर पे आएगा या जिधर भी अपना एड्रेस डाला उधर आके लेके जाएगा और वैसे ही आपको लाइव ट्रैकिंग फीचर भी इसके साथ मिलता है और हम लोग आपको जो सेम डे डिलीवरी है उसका भी ऑप्शन देते हैं और वो सब कुछ एकदम ही कॉम्पिटिटिव प्राइसेस में।
The budding entrepreneur has recruited a banker as his chief executive officer and roped in Dabbawalas who have for decades collected hot lunches from customers, often distant homes. A website and app were launched on Wednesday from where a customer could easily avail the services. The app boasts of features like real-time tracking, doorstep pickup at no extra cost and same-day delivery at affordable costs.
A woman entrepreneur in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province is getting an overwhelming response for her homemade food chain. A lawyer by profession, she started the initiative in 2015 after witnessing the rise of food adulteration.
A lawyer by profession and an entrepreneur by passion, Ikra Aija, who hails from Srinagar city of India's Jammu and Kashmir, is receiving an overwhelming response for her food venture nowadays. With aim to provide pure and organic food to the people and to provide employment to the girls in her valley, the 26-year-old started the venture called Food Mania in 2015. During the establishment of the homemade food venture, Aija found it difficult to manage both her profession and her passion, but the positive response to her food kept her going.
जो मेरा बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट है वो ये है कि यहाँ पे काफ़ी ज़्यादा अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट है और हमारी गर्ल्स जो है वो काफ़ी एजुकेटेड है, फ्रॉम हाई सोसाइटी से है, हाई एजुकेशन उनको मिली है। इवन बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स को यहाँ स्पेस नहीं, बाहर से पढ़ के आते हैं, बट ऐसा आफ्टर दैट आफ्टर कंप्लीशन ऑफ देयर डिग्रीज एंड कोर्सेज वो दे आर स्टिल आइडल। तो मैं उस चीज़ को, खासकर लड़कियों को जो अनएम्प्लॉयड है, जो खुद से स्टैंड होना चाहती है, मैं उनके लिए कुछ करना चाहती हूँ।
Aija's food specialities include Italian, Chinese, Mughlai, and all other kinds of different cuisines. The entrepreneur's venture prepares special food for all occasions and provides free home deliveries too.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.
You're watching DAC TV.